year was a good year. I was dedicated to God and my growth and school. And I brought the Bible with me to school. I began to bring the Bible with me to school every day. And at Vilonia, it was a normal thing. You know, most kids there were Christians. There was the atheist outlier who I would argue with a whole lot, but so
Yeah.
I had a group of girlfriends, and it was 6 girls, about 6, 7 girls that we would all hang out. And okay, like 2 of them were from my church. You know, 2 of them went to another Baptist church, and then she was a Catholic girl, and we never saw the difference. We all loved God, and we all loved talking about God, and we all loved school and our growth, and especially me and the Catholic girl. We were the most into it. But they were also, you know, we were into teenage stuff. We were into boys and sleepovers and stuff like that, and horoscopes. We would get into horoscopes, even though I was like, I kind of feel bad about this. I don't feel like it's right, you know, just because the church was saying that it was wrong. And my church taught, the church that I go to would teach, you know, they taught once saved always saved. And they also taught in the teen department, they were always preaching hell, pretty much, you know, in inventive ways. You know, we would go to a play for This Is How Hell Is, and you know, stuff like that. And they also taught that, you know, there's going to be a time where you don't have your Bibles, and so you need to read your Bible for yourself. And so, I was encouraged to read my Bible and continue reading my Bible. And that year at school, a bunch of girls, we were going to the ball games after school, and the Catholic girl was not allowed. She was not allowed to go to ball games, so she wasn't even there. But all of the girls in my girlfriend group, like all of them, stood around smoking cigarettes. And this was a disappointment for me because I did not like cigarettes. I did not like that my mother smoked them. Her house was always stinky, and her car was always stinky because of it. And I remember the time that my dad picked me up and he was smoking, and it really made me mad. And I did not like cigarettes. My grandpa did smoke, but my grandma did a good job of keeping the place clean and covering it up. Yeah, I did not like that, but I didn't want to, you know, cause a big deal. I just walked over to the fence line and watched the football game as if that's what you want to do whenever you're a teenager going to a football game. No, you want to hang out with your friends, but whenever they're doing stupid stuff and you don't want to participate, you just walk off. And I ended up going home, and it came out that the girls were smoking at the football game. One of my good friends, the one that goes to the same church as me, she told her mom that, you know, I was doing it and that she was the one that walked off. And so her mom talked to my grandma, and I got grounded, and I did not want to hang out with her as much anymore. And it really did. It caused a fracture in our friend group. Like, we fractured, and now it's like 3-3. And the side that I was on was a Catholic girl, and then this other girl who, you know, she's just a good girl. She don't really go to the church, but 2 girls go into my church are on this side, and I don't want to, you know, like, no, the truth is, you know, like, I don't care. They know the truth. I know the truth. Let's just carry on with it, okay? I'll get done being grounded, and it'll be what it'll be, okay? So I finally get undone. I finally get done being grounded, and I have my, you know, the Catholic girl to come stay the night because she was my best friend. Me and her, we just agreed on everything. We were in a lot of the same classes, and so we would help each other do homework. And most of the time, whenever we were talking, you know, to each other, it was about homework, and we made up vocabulary words every day, and we would be talking to each other, trying to use our vocabulary words, you know. And we both loved God, and we both loved Jesus, and we loved talking about God and Jesus. And so she was going to finally get to stay the night. and, I hadn't had a sleepover with her, but I finally did. And I decided, my grandpa in the backyard, he had a boat. And so I decided it would be fun to eat our lunch. Let's make some sandwiches and grab some chips and go and eat on the boat as if it's a picnic. And I didn't think, to ask. And I didn't think, to tell someone. So we just went. And then my great grandmother was like yelling, like screaming, like worried and freaked out. Misty, where are you? And I saw her and I was like, hey, mom, I'm over here in the boat. And then it looked like she waved at me, but she did not. And she ended up really frantic and really upset. And I ended up in a lot of trouble and grounded again. And so that was the theme of my 7th grade year. Pretty much all year long, I was grounded or I was talking to. There were times towards the end I would get more and more bitter about it, like this is not fair. Like why is this happening to me? And like this is just not fair. And I would talk to her and she would, calm me down and let me know, it's okay. Like Catholics, this is your penance that you're serving. And like, yeah, you're right. And oh, goodness. So, oh gosh. So, yeah, my 7th grade year was very much I was grounded all year long for things that I felt that I did not do. I did not do it, but I'm grounded and I get free and I'm so happy to have served my time in grace only to find myself grounded once again for something I did not do. So I'll serve my time in grace and be released to find myself grounded for something I did not do. And the only friend that I had supporting me through this, the only one that understood, yeah, you're innocent in all this, the only one that knew I wasn't allowed to hang out with her because she was a bad influence. She was that Catholic girl. And my grandma was pretty sure that the Catholic girl is what got all the little Baptist girls to smoke at the ball game. No, it was not like that. Oh my gosh. And I also, all the kids started dating and they would go to the skating rink and they would like hold hands and, skate together. And me and a bunch of girls were gonna, there's this boy he was kind of cute and he asked me out and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to say yes. And so we had the idea to meet up at the skating rink and tell him there that I say yes. It was innocent. The most I was going to do was hold his hand. And all the kids were going to the skating rink every weekend anyway. And it's my first time I could go to the skating rink. I go and he in the line, he comes to me, he walks up to me in the line and gives me a little teddy bear with a rose. It was so sweet. And my uncle was in the parking lot and he saw that and he was like, nope, you're going home. Busted. You were trying to get with a little boy. Whatever. But whenever I would be at my dad's house, my sister, she was allowed to go to the skating rink. And so I would go to the skating rink with her. And oh my gosh, we would skate like all night long. Like the skating rink was like all night long party. For kids our age, it was. It was a jam back in the day for real. And I was a rollerblader. I was good at rollerblading. So that's really cool. And then the summer, my 7th grade summer, my mom is now in apartments in Hot Springs. And it's pretty cool because in the apartment there was a lake and my brother would go down to the lake to fish all the time. And I always had my Bible and I do remember, this is the time in my life that I remember walking down to the lake and just imagining Jesus right by my side and answering my questions. And I would sit down and read my Bible with Jesus and, let him answer the questions as they come up as I'm reading them. Like I didn't read whenever all the Israelites killed all those other nations, I didn't read it like other people did. like the Amalekites, I read that as bloodsuckers. So, like, because I was like, oh my gosh, what is it? And he's like, they're bloodsuckers. They're vampires. So, like, and then the Israelites killed all the vampires, and then they killed all the werewolves, and then they killed, like, they killed all the serpent people, like, that's kind of how I was reading it, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, so, and my brother would always go down there and he would go fishing all the time. And one time he went further into the woods and I just slowly would follow him, usually read. And one day, I just went back there and I was like, why are you back all the way back here? And he's like, catch better fish. And I was like, oh, okay. That's a good enough answer for me. And I turn around and I'm going back because I know that dinner will be done soon. And on my way back, I hear like a rustle, and it sounded like a dog. And then all of a sudden, like I trip and I fall, and then there's a black snake right in front of me, like right there. And oh my gosh, I freaked out. I freaked out, and I jumped like 10 feet in the air. I was like, ah! And I jumped up, took off running, like a cartoon, and boom, and I ran up the hill and everything. And then Mom's just like, calm down, it's okay, calming me down, because I'm like, she's like, it's okay. Then here comes my brother with the dead snake. He's like, I heard Misty freaking out, so I figured it would have to be something, so I went and looked. Yep, I got it. I just want to let you know, sis, I got it. I was like, wow, that is so cool. And one time while he was down there fishing, a boulder rolled over on him. Like, I don't know what had happened, but it had rolled over on his leg and he was screaming and I had to come get him. So it's a good thing that I would always be reading near. And it was on his leg and I was just like, I don't even know how to get this off. I went and got I was a very sociable kid. I would talk to anyone, and I talked to the janitors around there, the maintenance men, and so I ran to one of those maintenance men to help move this boulder. It was crazy. It ended up rolling into the lake whenever they moved it, but his leg just started swelling up. It got huge, and we got really scared. And Mom took him to the doctor, though, and the doctor, that's whenever I learned from the doctor that our skin is actually very elastic and can handle a lot of swelling. But yeah, so we had to keep his leg up for a while and take care of my little brother that summer. And my cousin she got to come over, and now at this time, she moved all the way down south Arkansas. And I got to go visit her down south, and that was fun. So we'll be talking about that next round. But whenever she came up here to visit me, she convinced me to go there at the apartment. There's a pool, but there's also a lake. So you can swim in the pool or the lake. And I don't know why we swim in the lake. And she convinced me to swim in the lake and skinny dip. And we were skinny dipping in the lake. And it was actually kind of fun. And then this dude came up to us and he was like, I want y'all to know I got pictures and I'll use them against you. And we're like, for what? We're kids. No, this is what she said. I was like, what are we going to do? And she's like, for what? We're kids. We'll get you for pedophilia anyway. What, are you going to fleece us for our freaking lunch money? I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you go. But yeah, on the next video, we'll talk about going to see my cousin in Smackover, and we'll move into 8th grade. Thank you so much for watching my testimony. I appreciate all of you. I just want to put a disclaimer here at the end. This testimony is based off my memories and how I remember it, and memories can get convoluted, distorted. So maybe not all the details are factual, and it's not a completely factual story, but it's still my story and my truth. And I really appreciate all of you for watching. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching my story. That's all she got.